Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and it is on like Donkey Kong. Yesterday, XRP Las Vegas tickets went on sale, and it's xrplasvegas.com, by the way. Now, this is going to be from May 30th, May 31st, 2025, and what's significant here is that Bitcoin has moved to Las Vegas as well. Bitcoin is going to be there from May 27th to 29th, which will roll right into XRP Las Vegas. I'm sure there will be some cross-pollination there too. I mean, probably some of the people at Bitcoin Las Vegas will come to XRP Las Vegas and vice versa. I plan on attending Bitcoin Las Vegas as well, just to see what's going on. But the tickets are on sale, and he's got the early bird prices right now. And I think he's going to increase them at some point in the future. I don't know when. But I've already been told that the ticket sales are unbelievable. I think everybody knows 2025 is our year. Everybody feels it, and there's a lot of excitement in the air. So go get them before they run out. Check this out. This is the best tweet I've seen regarding XRP and what's expected soon from eGrag Crypto. XRP next move. Be ready for the G-force will melt faces. If you've never seen this video, watch this. Unbelievable. I believe gone are the days that these fighter planes are going to rule the air. I think drones is what's coming. Check this out. The Trump administration is eyeing the CFTC to oversee digital asset regulation per Fox. Now, Charles Gasparino had Chris Giancarlo on. Now, we think that Chris Giancarlo is going to be named the crypto czar for the United States. In this clip, I thought this clip was going to be the best clip. It's a great one, but then I found another clip, which is even greater.
There's a huge case in front of the federal courts right now brought by the SEC. It's the Ripple XRP case that Ripple violated.
By the way, while you're watching all this, let's not forget that Charles Gasparino was the one that was calling, saying, "No, the judge got it all wrong on this XRP case, and that's going to be reversed and all that." Remember that? Now that the good guys have won, all of a sudden Charles Gasparino's playing Switzerland, neutral guy.
Essentially, securities laws, by issuing XRP, it's deemed part of that issuance was deemed a security, part of it wasn't. SEC's appealing.
Yes.
There's a Trump SEC coming in. Are they going to drop the case, you think?
So, Charlie, as you know, I wrote a definitive law review article before that case was brought, arguing that XRP was not a security subject to SEC. It turned out that the judge who ruled in that case sided with the view I'd expressed. Half of it.
Right.
I would recommend that it's time for regulatory agencies to drop a lot of these cases where they've lost at the trial court.
If you were a betting man, would they drop the XRP case?
I think they should. And
will they?
I would bet they would.
That's amazing.
All right. That's a bold. This is a measured guy. This isn't a guy that just goes out on limbs. He's also, he's an attorney for Wilkie Farr, which represented Ripple. This is the clip. This is the biggest news in crypto should be this right here, and nothing but this. Because if this happens, it's more on like Donkey Kong than I ever thought it would be. You remove crypto, well, just listen.
Well, this is why I do think a crypto czar is critically important, because there's a lot of promises, as you mentioned, and they're across the board. It's not just the SEC chair does this. You need tax writers to make sure that the moratorium on capital gains taxes on U.S. crypto that he's promised is done. You're going to need the White House counsel's office to write the executive orders to end what they call choke point 2.0, the debanking of crypto.
Now, folks, if you don't realize it yet, we literally blew up when Trump got elected. This was literally like blowing up the Death Star in Star Wars. People have, your average American has no idea just how evil. I didn't include the clip, but there is a clip in here where Mark Andreessen was talking about how he was meeting with these high up government officials, and they told him, no, the way it's going to be, and that this was on their assumption that Kamala was going to win. They were telling him, no, in the future, what we're going to do, he said the government wanted complete control of AI. They were going to narrow it down to like 5 companies so they could completely control the United States of America. And they told him that there weren't going to be any startups because those kind of things wouldn't survive, because they would do the same thing that Gary Gensler's been doing to Ripple. That's not his words, that's my words. They were doing the same they were going to do through regulatory capture. They were going to basically stop all the startups. That's the evil that we've been living under. And it would have gotten so much more evil. Americans have no idea how close we came. Here's a couple that apply to crypto, and you should never forget what that communist professor, Harvard professor Elizabeth Warren, was trying to do with her toady Gary Gensler to this country.
Deposit. You can't get insurance. Like, none of that stuff is, you've been sanctioned, right? None of that stuff is available. And then this administration extended that concept to apply it to tech founders, crypto founders, and then just generally political opponents. So, yeah, so that's been like super pernicious.
I wasn't aware of that.
Oh, 100%. And this is called, so it's Operation Choke Point 1.0 was 15 years ago against the pot and the guns. Choke Point 2.0 is primarily against their political enemies and then to their disfavored tech startups. And it's hit the tech world like we've had like 30 founders debanked in the last 4 years.
Really?
Yeah. It's been a
Joe Rogan has no excuse for not understanding what was going on. I can't even tell you how many times the XRP army tried to put ETHgate in front of this guy so he would be aware of what was going on. He should be more responsible being that big of a podcaster than that.
big recurring pattern.
30.
This is one of the reasons why we ended up
We tried to put it in front of him, his assistant. Thousands of tweets. There's no question they saw it.
supporting Trump. It's like we can't live in this world. We can't live in a world where somebody starts a company that's a completely legal thing and then they literally like get sanctioned, right, and embargoed by the United States government through a completely unaccountable, no due process. None of this is written down. There's no rules. There's no court. There's no decision process. There's no appeal. Who do you appeal to, right? Like, who do you go to get your bank account back, right? God. And then there's also the civil asset forfeiture side of it, which is right the other side, and that doesn't happen to us, but that happens to people in a lot of places now who get arrested, and all of a sudden, the state takes their money.
Yes, that happens to people if they get pulled over and they have a large amount of cash in some states.
Right, or there've been there's well-publicized examples of there'll be some investigation into safe deposit boxes, and the next thing you know, the feds have seized all the contents of the safe deposit boxes, and that stuff never gets returned. And so it's this, and this is when Trump says the deep state. The way we would describe it is it's administrative power. It's political power being administered not through legislation, right? So there's no defined law that covers this. It's not through regulation, right? There's nothing you can't go sue a regulator to fix this. It's not through any kind of court judgment. It's just raw power. It's just raw administrative power. It's the government or politicians just deciding that things are going to be a certain way, and then they just apply pressure until they get it.
It's evil is what it is. And here's another one.
All the crypto startups in the last basically 4 years. So remember the crypto thing got really sort of everybody got excited and like NFTs and like all that stuff, and then it just stopped.
Yeah.
And the reason it stopped is because basically every crypto founder, every crypto startup, they either got debanked personally and forced out of the industry, or their company got debanked and so it couldn't keep operating, or they got prosecuted, charged, or they got threatened with being charged.
What he just described there, I had this happen to me. I'll tell that story in DAIXRP.com. Here is Senator Cynthia Loomis about what Trump's going to do. It's the dark clouds are receding. The sun is coming out in America.
These are all things that President Trump raised during his campaign, and he seems to be assembling a very pro-Bitcoin cabinet. His leadership understand the assets, not only just Bitcoin, but other digital assets and the opportunities for blockchain. And it then moves into the whole AI culture as well. So I see these things as being part and parcel of creating a 21st century economy that has its anchor in the United States.
There you go. Then this happened yesterday from Paul Graywall. He's the chief legal officer of Coinbase. Privacy wins today. The Fifth Circuit held that U.S. Treasury's sanctions against Tornado Cash smart contracts are unlawful. This is a historic win for crypto and all who care about defending liberty. Coinbase helped in that litigation. Stuart Alderati commented, this week's federal court ruling striking down SEC's dealer rule and the Treasury's sanctions on Tornado Cash share a theme. Regulators don't make law, they enforce it as written. If they want more power, only Congress accountable to the people can grant it. Then we got this. Long-term holders of XRP realized over $1.5 billion in profits last week as the payments-focused cryptocurrency zoomed to 3-year highs, data shows. Here's Charles Hoskinson. He is predicting Bitcoin 250 to 500,000.
As good as Ethereum can be, and Solana can be, and Cardano can be, let's be intellectually honest about this. Governments are talking about a strategic reserve of Bitcoin and Bitcoin alone. It's their entry point.
That's important to note, folks. If they do Bitcoin is one commodity. If they do a strategic reserve, that is just nothing but the door opening, and they're going to have strategic reserves. And whoever, Brad Garlinghouse always said there would be scores of digital assets, but 99% would go to zero. I've always believed there's going to be somewhere in that neighborhood of 15 to 20, 25 that become a part of the financial infrastructure for the next 100, 200 years. I believe XRP is definitely one of those. And I believe that all of those there will be strategic reserves. Why wouldn't there be?
Perhaps in 5 or 10 and 15 years, that dialogue and narrative will change. But it is my belief that Bitcoin is going to go to $250,000 to $500,000 within the next 12 to 24 months because of the investment inflows and the great interest that has been achieved.
Folks, make no mistake, if that happens, those altcoins are going to rumble too, probably more than Bitcoin does.
This will translate to an ecosystem whose value is starting to approach that of gold, an asset humans have used as a store of value for over 5,000 years. Simply put, Bitcoin is a store of value.
By the way, what you're hearing are wintergreen Tic Tacs. I had a strategic reserve of wintergreen Tic Tacs this morning.
Value for the internet. And it will remain in that role for the foreseeable future now that it has a DeFi layer. As good as Ethereum can.
Okay, I'm going to tell you, in DAIXRP.com, I'm going to tell you about what happened to me when I got debanked. And I'm going to tell you about I found, I think, 4 different chart guys who are all lined up on the same short-term price that they think is about to happen for XRP. And I'm going to show you that. They all have it in common. It all right there around that same number, which makes it exciting. And I believe Thanksgiving is going to get interesting. It looks like things are ramping up a little bit this morning. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe. Hit the like button. Tell your friends and family that away we go.